So you're thinking about giving up your dream of being a content creator because you're not getting the results you want. You think it's not for you. Well, I'm here to tell you not to give up, and I'm going to explain why you shouldn't. Now, this isn't going to be a cheesy motivational speech where I'm going to be like, follow your dreams, anything's possible. While that is true, I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't quit. So I started off my content creation journey as a Twitch streamer, and to this day, my Twitch is very unsuccessful. Like, there are people who start their Twitches like today or even tomorrow, and they're going to surpass me in a matter of days, weeks at most. Twitch is just not working out for me. But I didn't let that cause me to give up. I didn't throw in the towel right there because I use other platforms and I've gained traction on other platforms such as TikTok and YouTube now. And the funny thing is, I made these platforms to promote my Twitch, and both of them ended up being bigger than my Twitch account. So now I stream on Twitch for just love of the game, but I've shifted my efforts towards at platforms that actually yield results for me, and I can pivot back to Twitch later as I grow and evolve. Now, if you want to give up because things don't go your way like immediately, then maybe content creation is not for you. But if you're willing to stick it out, I promise you it's worth it. The platforms, they reward people who show up every day. A lot of the people who made it are people who never quit. Even if nobody was watching, even if they were getting like 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 engagement, they were watching people around them skyrocket seemingly effortlessly, right? Well, they didn't focus on that. Don't compare yourself to others. Just lock in and treat every piece of content you make, whether it's a live stream, a video, a TikTok, whatever, as a deposit into a bank account. Because what you're doing is learning. That's the most important thing, what to do and what not to do. But you're creating a catalog of content because eventually you're going to make something that grips the audience and brings people to your page, right? And they might check out your older stuff. They might not, but you never know unless you try. And I think a lot of people just give up because if it doesn't take off immediately, then they just were like, all right, it's not for me. And nobody seems to want to start at the beginning. Everyone wants to make it. Everyone feels embarrassed to like start off as a beginner, right? I knew a guy that didn't learn how to swim until he was 24 because he grew up in a country where people didn't really swim recreationally. And if you swam in water there, you would get eaten alive by whatever creatures were in the water, whether they were fish, crocodiles, or sharks, right? But he moved to America and he learned how to swim. He was in a swimming class with mainly kids. He was the only grown adult there. And yet it was kind of embarrassing for him, but now he knows how to swim, right? Better late than never. So even though I wasn't gaining traction on Twitch like I had hoped for, TikTok was a whole other story. I kept posting every day, and sometimes I'd post 10 or 20 times a day. Eventually, I started gaining traction. One time I got one viral video, and then it just plateaued, and then I didn't get my second viral video until a few months later. But I locked in. I stayed the course, and now I go viral a lot more often on TikTok. I'm at 20,000 followers now. And if you want to learn how to get into the Creator Rewards program on TikTok and earn your first 10,000 followers, I have a video about that too, where I break it down piece by piece of what worked for me. Now, if I had just given up, it wouldn't have gone anywhere. And I'm not saying I've made life-changing money on TikTok. I haven't compared to other creators, but one time I made $500 in one TikTok. I've had several where I've made $100 to $300. A couple of them I've made just a couple bucks. Some of them I've made like $50. Sometimes it's just a couple of cents. But either way, it all adds up, and I'm getting paid to just make videos. That's cool, regardless of how much you make. But that also showed me that I was better at making short form content than I was at streaming. And when YouTube Shorts, when I learned about those, I was like, you know what? If I'm doing well on TikTok, I should also be making YouTube Shorts. A lot of times I repost my shorts here, and I also make original shorts here as well. Instagram Reels, same thing. And my short form generally does better than anything else. YouTube is great for that because one, you could use the related video feature to repivot your shorts into other things, right? And that helped me reach my first 1,000 subscribers, which is a metric you need to hit if you want to make it as a creator and get monetized on YouTube. And if you want to know how I did that, so you can save time, and it's still not going to be overnight, but if you can like avoid the mistakes that I made when I started out, I have a video on reaching your first 1,000 subscribers here too. So yeah, there's that. And just to piggyback on the whole diversifying your platform base, it's important because you never know where your primary audience is hiding. I never once imagined that my primary audience would be on TikTok, but the numbers speak for themselves and it's continuing to grow every day. So there's that. So don't like neglect a platform because you want to prioritize this one. Like don't ignore Kick or Twitch because you want to prefer YouTube. Don't just prefer YouTube and leave out Instagram, because you never know. You're leaving results on the table, and sometimes you can use the same content on other platforms with minor alterations. So work smarter, not harder. And it's all going to add up over time. Remember, just because you're getting one or two views there, one or two likes there, doesn't mean it's not all adding up. You're not making like bad content. You're just making content that hasn't reached its audience yet. So stay the course. And lastly, before we wrap things up, we're going to go back to comparing yourself to others. We already know you shouldn't do that. But when you do see someone having success on any platform and wishing it was you, instead of feeling resentful, instead of feeling jealous, look at what that person is doing and see what they're doing that you can do too. Because chances are you're going to be able to do it if they can do it. And, I have this saying, and I don't know if I'm the original person to say it. Somebody could have thought of this many years ago, but I have this saying, when you see someone succeed, don't get jealous, get inspired. Instead of saying, why me or why not me, say me next. So just keep that philosophy. And that's helped me a lot because, I compared myself for other people many times. I grew up in an Indian household, in an Indian family. So as kids, we were always compared to our cousins. We were all compared to other relatives, family, friends, whether it was education, employment, other merits. Like, just stop comparing yourself to others, lock in. And remember, your content doesn't have to be perfect. My channel is not perfect. This video is not perfect. There are definitely things I could have done better in this specific video. But just make something, do your best, and get better every time. And with that, you're going to see progress. You're going to start building a community. And by the way, if you like what I'm saying, please hit that subscribe button. Just lock in, keep your head up, and remember, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Have a great day.